Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Team Unity Roundtable. I am here with my co-host, Brother Dexter Honore. And Dexter, I think you're muted, so you can unmute so we can start interacting. Today, it's an exciting time. We're meeting with a special young lady who's doing something that we are interested in as Team Unity. And as such, we want to embrace persons of all different backgrounds. But first, before we start, let me just wish everybody a splendid season. Wish everybody has had a good time with their families and so on. Brother Dexter, you want to come in, bro?
Yeah, I'd just like to say good day to all who are privileged to view this and to be a part of this round table. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Dexter Honorary, and I would like to extend the season's greetings to all. And just like to remind you briefly that one of the most expensive things that God has given us, I believe, is time. And I trust and hope that you took some time to spend with family and friends because we never know when we are going to be just a memory. Therefore, quality time is important. Again, we want to thank you for joining us today. And we trust as we proceed and as we discuss the dialogue that we engage in, you will indeed benefit from it. So please stay tuned to the very end of this roundtable discussion. Carlos.
Yes, and today I just let me bring in our guest. And today we have Mrs. Petra Carbon George. She is a special person who is doing an exciting activity on the 30th of December. That's in the next few days. First of all, let me allow her to introduce herself, and then we'll take the discussion from there. Good afternoon, Miss Carbon. How are you? I think you. Oh, I
Still
think you're
muted.
muted. You're muted, and your camera just went.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. As my host said, I am Petra Carbon George, and it's just be good, feels good to be part of a team that understands the mission and the mission to help the youth, to impact the youth, to empower the youth, and to set a foundation for the youth where they can become greater in the future.
That's right. I mean, Team Unity been largely been driven by the thoughts of the young people. We love youth. I mean, largely a lot of us are young persons in by the definition in sense of the word in as part of this organization, and we looking for better in the community and our country as a whole. That being said, Miss Carbon has the idea of a program which she has developed for the youth. And yes, we found eyes on it, and we decided to engage her and let her know, let her talk more about her program and how we can work together to towards the betterment of our wider community. You want to get into before we get into that, who let's find out who Miss Carbon is. Who is Petra Carbon?
Okay, I am first of all, I'm a wife, a mother, a friend, a sister, a cousin. I'm a community person. I love people. I love my family very much. And I just love people in general. I love helping people. I love motivating people, elevating people, and always seeing the best in people. So this is who I am in a nutshell.
Okay, and as we're about to put the thing from your program up, what motivated you to start this program?
Okay, so I listen to Dr. Wallace a lot, and she's so inspiring. And she's always, although not physically in Dominica, she's always giving her services, and trying to encourage and empower people to become better people. And through watching, I said to myself, well, if Miss Dr. Wallace can do it, I can do it too. So I said, my passion is really to set a foundation for the young people, because I realized that people that I knew when I was 20, they are now 40, in the 60s and 60 and beyond. And most of them are still relying on people to do stuff for them. So I said to myself, if I can help the young people to build a foundation at an early age, it will not, it will at least eliminate the dependence on people in the next 40 years or next 50 years. And with the help of other people, I think I can pull that off. So I reach out to the people on the program, and I ask them if they're willing to work with me to help the youth in our community. And they decided that was a great initiative, and yes, they're on board with me. So then that's how it came about. And you might not see one of the other individual there as well is Mr. Lofty Dura. When I spoke to him about it, he was like, "Yes, Petra, very good, very good." And then he brought me on his program, and then his audience was so intrigued, and they gave some good comments and so. So I felt to myself, okay, I felt confident that this would really help the people of Dominica, or young people especially. And then so I put everything together, and here we are, trying to make
So
it happen.
Dexter, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, and thank you so much. I do appreciate the fact that we are discussing the youth, and I am glad that this initiative came into existence. One man said, "The foundation of every state," and I would like to add, the foundation of every country is the education of its youth. If our future is going to be bright, I believe it requires that we empower the young people, and there are multiple areas that they need empowerment. So I am truly grateful that a seminar like this will come into existence, and I'm looking forward to it. And as a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to a discussion, to hearing more about this youth development seminar.
So we see a few speakers on the. You, I'm assuming some of people will be virtual.
Yes, some of the people will be virtual because they are out of states. And if you are in Dominica and then you something happened and you're unable to make it to the location, you can still do the speakers can still be do virtual as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
And I'm assuming everything is in place in terms
Yes.
of participation of persons who want to take part locally as well as so. Tell us a little bit more about the various topics on the program. Youth
Okay.
Development Seminar with Royal Investments,
Okay. So
presented
Royal.
by Two Hearts.
Okay. So Heart to Heart is my own company that I registered in St. Croix. Um, to start that same youth development as well. And I said to myself, since I'm from Dominica, let me extend the courtesy of starting with our people first before starting anywhere else. My major is in accounting. I have a bachelor's degree in accounting, and I
Mhm.
also love economics. So I did economics as well, and I realized that we as a people, we need a strong financial um, plan to move forward in life and to become successful and to develop wealth. So I met this young individual through a mutual friend, Royal Investment. He was just have both in that name or that brand, and he has the same ideas like myself, and he's right there in Dominica. So when we spoke, we decided that we would join our forces together to impact the youth, to help bring empowerment and enlightenment to the youth as well. So that's why you will see Heart to Heart and Royal Investment on the program, because he's the one who did most of the groundwork here for me. He went about, he did everything. Such a lovely man. You'll see him in time. A lovely individual, and he has that passion for young people as well as myself.
Nice. So we'll be learning more about legacy. Let's say you wanted to jump in.
Yes, yes. I am looking at the program before me, and it speaks volume. It says a lot. I guess they're going to talk about financial independence, wealth building, and skill development. I wish we could touch on these individual topics um, individually, especially the latter part in terms of skills development and the system that we are in. It's like it teaches our children that they have to go to school, and the only way they can be successful in life is if they have 5, 6, 7 subjects, or they go to university. But we can develop wealth, and we individuals can do well by simply acquiring the skills, and it matters not where you go or where you are. Your skill goes with you, and you could be employed almost immediately. I mean, i have I've traveled through the Caribbean, and throughout my experience, I've come to realize that people with skills, they are able to just travel to a country and almost immediately find a job that they can engage in and gain financial privileges. So I think this is good, and there is so much that more to talk about, because I know Carlos touched on it, the whole idea of legacy creation. But let us not move too quickly. I believe we need to take our time and go step by step. But I am loving this so far. So please, if you could just elaborate on this a bit for us, I believe I would appreciate that.
Okay, so financial independence. Financial independence. I chose that to deal with that because I realized that we have a culture where people love people to just give them stuff, and relying on people is a very bad thing in my opinion. Because I myself, when you rely on people, you have to wait on them, on their timing, on everything. Like you're at their mercies because you rely on them. But if you are financial independent, then they work with you. Like if they don't choose to show up, then you check somebody else. You don't rely on them. You can move and you can get somebody else to do stuff for you. So I think that was one of a great topic to address, which will really help our people, our young people in Dominica. Me being young once upon a time, so I also know the importance of being financial independence, because you cannot walk to a bank. If you're not financially independent, you cannot walk to a bank and secure loans or get assistance to help develop yourself, because most of the time your background did not leave you with anything. So then you have to do it yourself, and but you have to start somewhere. So I think that was one of my topics that I should introduce and deal with. Wealth building, as it say, and when we wear wealth building, people think of being rich, but that's not what wealth building is. Wealth building is using your excess, putting it aside, and using that excess to generate more income. This is what wealth building is. It's not about being rich. It's not about just making money and having it there, because there are people who become rich overnight and then they are broke the next day because they're not wealthy. But wealthy people know that any excess they have, they turn it into a different income, because different sources of income will help you to become wealthy. One source of income cannot help you to be wealthy. So that is why I put this there, so that we could address that as well, to show the young people how wealth building is very important, not only to them, but to the next generation. You want your next generation to always be better off than you started. So that's what where wealth building comes. And finally, skills development. Growing up, the old people say, go to school and learn and get a job. But in my years of living and visiting different places and going to school and listening to different seminars, I realized that skill development, as you rightly say, Mr. Honore, that has nothing to do with how many subjects you acquire during your tenure of your years, but mostly is to use your God-given talents and develop it. So I know growing up, farmers used to be the, and you'll hear me talk about agriculture a lot because my father was a farmer, and my father sent us to school. He didn't take any money, and so he was also a fisherman, and this is what he used to sustain his family. My mom was stay-at-home mom to take care of the children, and my father did fishing and agriculture to take care of the household. So this is why you will hear me speaking about that.
Good.
You want to develop your skill,
Is it me? Is it me? Dexter, are you there?
Yes, I am. This is just awesome, Miss Carbon. And as I mentioned earlier on, skills development is to me of great importance. And I do hope that the many who are tuned in, who are listening, will encourage the young people of Dominica to be a part of this, to me, life changing event. We also needed to speak a little bit more about legacy creation that I see before me. And leaving a legacy, Carlos, to me is of great importance.
And that slides in perfectly in TUD's policies. In, especially if you remember a few months ago, the TUD presented its budget response where we talk about Otalaja. We talk about everybody being able to create wealth for themselves. I suspect Miss Carbon was having some internet issues. So, but she is back.
Awesome.
So we spoke about everybody in Dominica being able to create wealth, and this youth seminar with these topics are very timely.
Can you hear me
Very.
now?
Yes, we
Yes,
got.
we hear you perfectly. I suspect you are having internet issues.
So I was saying thank you so much for bringing further enlightenment regarding these three important, or to me, vital areas. And I also noticed that it ties in perfectly with the whole idea or concept of legacy creation. And that is something, a point that I believe we need to stress on a bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we hear you
Okay.
perfectly.
Yeah, I guess the internet where I am just dropped. So I had to change to another device again. Yeah, so we were speaking about skills development. So it's very important that we help our youth to develop their skills in all area, not just one area, but all walks of life, in all industries as well.
Yeah.
Because our economy don't depend on only one industry. We have That's why we have different ministries. So
Right.
because we have all these ministries, we also need to develop the skills of our young people in all these ministries because they're the one who's going to run the offices after the first set pass the baton over to them. And if they're not developed, if the skills are not developed, then they're really not going to do a great job at it. So that's why I chose these three main headings so that it will help because all of them intertwine with each other. You don't need to be a college graduate to be financially independent. Neither you need to be wealth or build wealth because the farmers they were not intellectually sound, as people used to say, but when it comes to finance and independence, that they was. I remember farmers being able to walk to the bank and just buy a vehicle cash, $80,000 cash.
And more.
Yes, sometimes 120. I met a farmer that told me his first Toyota van, he bought it $120 easy cash.
In,
And he
in,
have
in,
no subject.
Interesting. It is important. It is it is to me. I'm so glad that you're bringing this up, because usually sometimes I question what is education, and the system that we are in teaches us that education is go to follow the system, you go to school, etc. But when you take a look at the farmers and the various skilled people, you will also realize that they are educated. They are able to manage their own businesses. They're able to manage their monies pretty well. And I'm speaking about this, and it kind of brings back memory because my brother who passed away last year, I could recall when I was younger, I taught him how to read and how to write. And over the years, this guy made a lot more money than me, a lot more money than me. That he had his own business. He managed individuals, and he did all of that simply because he had a skill, and there were certain various things that he was good at, and he was able to transform that skill into money. And as we speak of money, money is a subject that I believe a lot of people do not understand, even some adults. And because of the lack of understanding, then they make a lot of mistakes. And because I also noticed that one of his subtopics, budget planning, which is important. So all of these to me are areas of need. So I really want to encourage all who are listening to share this and encourage the young people to be part of something that is empowering.
And I'm looking at the various speakers. I see they are from various sectors of society. You're not all you're not all financial persons were there. I see I have Tanya Dixon, who is a very talented manager. Jody Dublin Dangleben, who is a manufacturer and is also a professional in her in the technical field where she is. Paul Barron, who's been known as a insurance professional and as well in terms of housing, sales, back marketing, property management, and so on. And of course, you yourself, and so on. Can you would you want to go into more into the speakers?
Okay. So Jody, she's for JD's. She's an entrepreneur. Although she has a background in, she have a degree in engineering. She's an entrepreneur who does yes product for the hair. You may have known she's local. She's from Dominica. I saw
Yes.
her doing her stuff on Facebook, and I was like, oh Lord, the young people need to motivational speakers like this to understand that yes, you could go to school, you could have your education, but you could still be an entrepreneur and still bring in something else on the end. And I reached out to her and she was happy to do that for us as well. Tanya Dixon, she's a young lady who stands for the right for young people. For she stands for the young people in the terms of she don't like the abuse that young people is going through and she speaks out on Facebook about it. And I love
Mhm.
that about it because you see, this is where we use that for skill development. You don't have to have a degree to take up a course and work with it and help people along the way. So she'll be a motivational speaker as well. And Deborah Blackman, she is in small business development, so she can speak to the young people and let them know the importance of having small businesses and working together, all businesses, small business working together to achieve and to reach their goals. And then we have Dr. Wallace, who's a psychologist, but also she speaks on the she speaks on the how your mindset can affect your ability to progress in life. And
Mhm.
so this will always also help the people to change their mindset about what wealth is and to be better at what they do. And then I have Paul Baron, yes, as you say, he's in the marketing business, he's in the financial planning business. Also, he worked with the youth a lot of years. So he too will be able to understand their minds because he's been part of them for a very long time. He is Badwill. He is does insurance in the States, but so he's good at that. He helped people to build legacies, wealth building, and so he'll come in and contribute here. And myself, I budget planning is for me. I believe if you start young planning your budgets, you will do great in the time to come. So this is what I'm going to show the young people how to start. And you don't have to have a lot of money to do budget planning. What in budget planning is simply managing your income, whatever income you have, and managing it, maxing it to the best of your ability so that you always can meet your needs and save for your future. So that is what it's really about. And then we have Lavin Thomas, who's from Royal Investment. He will speak about how he's going to use his Royal Investment to help the youth to invest in themselves, invest in others with similar causes or similar products and help each other invest. So this is where he's going to help them to invest. So he'll be helping them to invest in whatever they want to do in life. And then of course we have Heman Williams. Heman Williams, I remember Heman Williams helping me do I went to his tutoring class, maths. And today he owns his own school. So he came from he was not born with a golden spoon. So he know the struggles it is. He wants a teacher as well, and he moved with his passion. Teaching was his passion, but he was, you know, when you're teaching for a school or you're teaching for the government, you kind of box in.
Mm.
So he wanted to give so much more of himself that he decided to risk his career as a teacher for working for people for his money and start something on his own. And he did that. And today he has that school in Portsmouth where others attend. It's just as this attending the college as well. They do the same subjects and everything like that. So these people, they are really people who they start somewhere and they build something for themselves so they can really speak to the youth from experience, not only by just saying it because they just hear it, but from experience as well.
Okay. So 30th September 2022, 10 a.m. What has the feedback been like on the ground? And I know you're in Dominica right now. What has the reception been like?
Well, honestly speaking, a lot of you have did not reach out to me or RSVP um, as stated on the poster. So I really cannot give an honest feedback whether it's I just some people reach out to me. A handful of people reach out to me and told me like they want to attend and they will be there because they think it's a good thing. But to say that on a scale, if I had to say from 1 to 10, I would say it was like on a scale of 2. I
Right.
really did not get the feedback, but I'm not discouraged because the good thing about it is that the few that will attend, however few it is, we will do what we have to do. And the message will be there on Facebook. So when they speak about it to other people, if they're interested in listening, then they could always go and watch it on Facebook as well so that they can empower themselves just by watching it without even being attending it. So um, I put the information out there. I have not gotten the feedback that I think that, as the young people in
Yes.
Dominica, what and the way our system is working right now, but as everything else, we have to go as planned and we just trust that the people will show up. And then when the people leave, that they'll have a mindset change, and then you will see a different in our youth in our country, Dominica.
And do you have any do you see any way that we can reach out more so we can generate more of the young people's interest in those sort of programs and related programs?
Well, I believe next year, let me just say that I started this program this year, just starting it out, but I want this program to continue year after year. It's
Right.
not You're not going to just start and leave them right there because, like everything else, you need a mentor to help you along the way. If you never do
Right.
something before, you need somebody to help you. So the people on there as well, the speakers have agreed to help the young people through the journey. So we will be doing the programs next year. So hopefully we realize probably we were supposed to start the ground before, But as soon as we say we was going to start it, the snap election announcement came. So we had to back off to give the election and the people breathing space to do their thing. So
Mm.
the groundwork was not or we wanted it to be because of the election that came in. So hopefully next year we will reach more people because we'll actually have more time to do more groundwork than just advertising on
Right,
Facebook and doing it on the social medias and doing it also on the radios.
right. So I'm assuming, the see, we have some congratulations going out to you. And question, what has been your biggest challenge in trying to put the program together?
Mhm. One of my biggest challenge in trying to put the program together is really is me, is myself. I was contemplating. It took me like 3 months to decide to go ahead with it. I was saying, what if people not interested in hearing what I have to say? What if I was not welcome by the people? Or what if the speakers did not agree to help me along this journey? And the
Right.
what ifs and the what ifs and the what ifs. And the moment that I heard Dr. Triffy, Dr. Wallace, she spoke about that particular what if we like to speak to ourselves about, doubt and fear. And she
Mhm.
said how that is just a way, we are spiritual being as well. And that is the way we feel because that is, it's natural to feel that way, anxiety and everything. But in order to overcome it, we have to actually go with what we want to do. And I say, okay, Dr. Triffy, at least you try reading my mind. And so when she finished the session on Facebook, I messaged her. She was the first person I messaged. And I brought it to her attention. I told, okay, look at that I'm trying to do. And I want to know if you would help me along the journey. And she was like, yes, I will, Petra. That's very good. And then from the minute that she told me yes, and I felt good, like, oh, okay, she accept, being who she is and everybody. And then
Mhm.
I said, okay, now I have the energy and to reach out to the other people. And that I did. And but me was first my fear was what that really was holding me back. I would have started a long time ago if I was not fearful of how the outcome would be. It's
And,
crazy.
and do you think that the young people are interested in such programs, or you think we should adopt a more CEO-like approach? Because
No, I purposefully put it that way. Some other people tell me, but you're not putting snacks included and so. And I told them, I am not doing for people to come to eat food. I
right,
am doing it so that people who are serious about changing their life will want to attend. Because at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, do you want to stay in the state that you are in, or do you want to accept help from people who've been there already that can help you along the way? That have to be you have to want it to come to that seminar. But because if I had put food included, then more people would come in, more maybe they will not be really interested in hearing, but only there for the free food that comes. But I don't want to have it that way. I want people who are interested in developing themselves, developing the lives for the children to attend this seminar. That's why I didn't put no CWA attached to it, nothing of that nature. It's just positivity and development, and that is what we're aiming for. So even if it's 10 people that come to empower themselves to become better, I feel my goals have been accomplished. Even if it's one person that come, I still feel my goal is being accomplished because at least I can help one person to make their life better.
that is so correct. Dexter, you want to chime in? You have anything else you want to ask her?
Yeah, I was just thinking, and I love the idea of one person at a time. We definitely can change the world all at once, but we can definitely make a difference by changing one person's life. However, I just would like to know, and I believe probably our viewers would like to know, what is the duration like? What would the
Okay,
duration like?
did you? It's from 10 to 4. There's a break, a lunch break from 12 to 1. The speakers will have 20 minutes to present, and then we have answers and questions. We're not trying to make it board, like it's just so we'll have a speaker, then we'll have a motivational speaker. So your mind, because you know the human nature, we short spanned. We can't take so much information
Right.
at once. So what we do, we put a speaker and then we have a motivational speaker. So it's like freestyle. So the brain can relax and just absorb. And then we have another speaker as well, and then another motivational speaker. And that is the way that we were going to help the people to take all the information, but just not take it like having session about session, only to just listen, but
Right.
to also to get their feedback and to interact with them as well.
Well, I will tell you though that TUD, we were thinking in terms of putting on a similar program. But when we saw that someone else was doing it, we say, what sense does it make to have a duplication of efforts when somebody is doing something which is going along the line of what we were thinking? So with that said, we just want to support exactly what you're doing and endorse this program and encourage everybody within the sound of our social media space and can hear and see us as we talk about the youth development seminar to come to Portsmouth Credit Union Hall on the 20th of the 30th of December and get to know what the various speakers such as Jody Dangobet, Tanya Dixon, even Thomas Paul Barron, hear what they have to say on the various topics that is being presented by Miss Carbon. Miss Carbon, Mrs. George, sorry. Any relation to the deceased Aline Carbon? I see you having the event in Portsmouth and not Fort Young as would be had by some other people who would put on similar programs.
No, I'm a proud niece of Mr. Allen Carbon. My father was
Wow,
Allen Carbon's brother. So
wow.
I am from the village of, my father is from the village of Capuchin.
Capuchin.
And so I felt that it is best that I put it in Portsmouth to have my people have more access to the information and to make it their retransportation first.
Right,
So at first, we were trying to do it like two places in Dominica, but because of the short span and the election had come through, we just decided let's just do it at one venue for December. And moving in 2023, what we would do is collaborate with people who have like-mindedness, like TUD, and do it in different areas. So maybe we can do it in Marigot, and then have it one time in Marigot, then have it one time in Petit Souffriere, and just move it around, because we know not everybody have the passage money to come to one location at one time. So we
right.
want to be fair and balanced in 2023. But for this year, we just keep it in Portsmouth because of the short time we had to put everything together.
Okay, and I assume you're here on holidays and to put the program together. But any such plans in being here on a long-term basis?
To say the honest truth, when I finished school, I wanted to come back to Dominica, but with the financial and then that is my opinion, seeing the financial economy in Dominica, I don't think it's wise for me and my family as yet to leave everything that we worked so hard for over to come to settle back to Dominica. So
Okay,
we watching, but we that's our aim and our plan to come back to Dominica and give our time and talent, to my young people in Dominica. As I told you, I took up the name of youth advocate. I am going to fight for my people, whether they want it or not, my young people, because I was 20 years old, as I told you, 22 years ago. And if I had this knowledge and information and the help that we're willing to offer today, 22 years ago, I'm telling you, I would be a not better person in terms of character, but in terms of finances and wealth building, I would have been way up the ladder. So that is why I really pushing that for the young people.
and I would like to encourage you to don't stop here because to get something to move from other, for example, a stone, a big stone, You have to start pushing it, and when it starts building momentum, you keep pushing it, and you get the result that you're looking for at the end of the process. I see Dexter wanted to come in as well.
Yes, I mean, this program, as we have already confirmed, is needed. It's a very important program, and we want to encourage all to attend. However, the venue is the Portsmouth Credit Union Hall, and I'm not too sure if it was mentioned earlier on, and if it was, it would be very good that for us to mention it again. Will the event be on Zoom? Will it be on Facebook? Will other people be able to access it? For example, I'm all the way in town. It would be very difficult for me to get to Portsmouth, but I heard about it and I would like to be a part of it. Would I be able to join via Zoom or any other social media platform?
Yes, definitely. We made sure that we made it accessible to everybody that has can reach Facebook or have an account in Facebook. So we'll be streaming live. Mr. Lofty Jura is going to do the whole program on it, viewing on his page, and then I will share it on my page, and all the participants will share it on their page as well. So everybody that here have a Facebook, they'll be sharing it on their page to make sure as much people can view it, and to experience or learn or feel empowered by whatever that we're going to do or say. So we didn't want it to just box in Portsmouth for the if it's 10 people that attend to the only the 10 people, but also the people living out of Dominica, because it's important for everybody. So it's accessible to everyone in the wild world who has an account with Facebook, or if their sister has an account with Facebook, they can access it as well. And the information will always be there, so you could always share it with your friends.
Okay, and what sort of future do you see for the youth moving forward?
Well, I hope in after hearing the speakers that the youth will feel motivated, and they will feel like they have the power to do anything they put their mind to.
Right.
And I hope that after this program, that to see more young people become more self-sufficient, open do more entrepreneurship for themselves, and be better and or develop their skills. One of the things that we will be pushing next year using that same program is trying to have different people that are out there in the states. I have not said to anybody as yet, but that's one of the things. For example, if you're out there and you're engineer, that we could get you to do a small seminar online once a month or once every quarter with our young people who really want to study in that field but not sure what it entails, to give them a breakdown of what it is, and to see to pick their interest, so they can choose for themselves early what skills they want to go into if they don't want to go to college, what skills, where they can, how they can develop that skill. So that is what we're looking to us, to help the young people who cannot afford college, but they're good at woodwork, to get the people, our local people who are could do woodwork, to encourage or give them some how they do it in the other countries. You get them to come to work for you. You might not pay them, but they will learn the skills from a professional. So when they leave, they could be able to go home and make a table for themselves, because they
So
maybe cannot
you're
afford.
talking about apprenticeship,
Yes, that's it exactly.
right?
So we hope after that program it will propel the people to want to do that as well, to reach out to us and the people on that program who know people, to help the people, the young people willing to do different segments. So yeah, we'll be taking the names of the people, asking them their fields of interest, and then going back to the drawing board, and putting together a set of people who can help the people and in the areas that they say they're interested in as well in 2023.
And with you saying that, I think you have already answered my next question in some way, shape, or form. I wanted to know your interest in terms of representing your people and how far it goes.
Oh, my interest of representing my youth goes all the way. And that's what I dedicate my rest of my life to educate and to empower my young people. That's it. I was I've been working with youth since I know myself, both in church and both in the local government. I was part of that, the youth development in Dominica National Youth Council. I
Mhm.
was part of the National Youth Council. I was part of the council in my constituency, or village council. I was part of this as well. And I've always been part of the youth development ministries in our church. So it's something that started way back when I just multiplied on a different scale and going to help the youth moving forward, no matter
Does
what.
that interest reach all the way to government possibly?
Well, if I have to become the prime minister to make sure I took my youth to the next level, then that's what it's going to be.
I like the way. Yeah, Dexter, you wanted to comment? You are muted. You're muted.
Thank you, Carlos. Yeah, I wanted to ask a question, seeing that you mentioned the whole idea of church, and I don't know if if I hinted in any form or fashion that I was religiously, I come from a strong religious background, and this program seeks to develop the youth in multiple areas. But what about the spiritual side of the youth? And you did mention the whole idea of the mindset, and all of that streams to the whole idea of the spiritual background as well. So, would you be interested, are you all thinking or considering including this in the program for next year?
Well, I personally believe spirituality is a great part. We can't live without spirituality because we are man, but we are spirit living in man. So we have to address that as well. So I'm great. I am high on spirituality. I'm not a religious person. I am a spiritual person. I believe you have to keep touch with your creator because that's what keeps you balance. And this also will be including to help balance our people and keep them spiritually grounded as well. So I also offer that I have my website that I'm developing, .com, where I will be helping the young people to also um, develop their spirituality. It's nothing about religion. I don't believe in telling people what church they should go or where that church should believe. I believe in my spirituality. If you love people, as long as you love people, everything else will work out. And if you teach people to love people, and then things will work out. Because when you love yourself and you love people like yourself, it will eliminate, not entirely, but lessen, let me use that word, it will lessen the violence, I believe, in my opinion. It will lessen the crime because then you have to think first, would I love somebody to do that to me? And then your conscience kick in. So it will help you to be spiritually minded. And a spiritually minded person will try their best not to hurt somebody else. So yes, we'll be having that as well as time goes by.
Awesome, awesome.
Very good. Awesome. And with that, I'm not sure if we want to go much further because we're coming close to the 4 o'clock hour where our events don't go longer than an hour. But Miss Carbon, Mrs. George, I should say, I would strongly advise you to stick close to TUD as our ideas line up, especially in line with what where you're thinking, and we share those concepts, especially when it comes to youth development. Um, do you have any last words you would like to say in wrapping up?
Okay, so in wrapping up, I'd just like to encourage anyone who is viewing now and will view in the future before December 30th to, if you cannot attend, listen. But if you cannot listen the same day, listen the next day. Because this program put together is for the youth development and it will impact your life. Because there's a quote that says, if you don't plan your future will plan for you. And trust me, you don't want your future to plan for you because your future is already unpredictable. But with planning, you can achieve so much. And so come listen. Whatever that interests you, come listen, take notes, bring your notebook, bring your pen, take notes, and try to apply it. And yes, we will be here with you all the way. If you need help, reach out to us. We'll be giving our contact information during the seminar. Each participant will be given their contact information during the seminar so that we can continue to work with the people who are interested. And sticking close to TUDs, we stick with everybody who are like-minded, and we, because our whole aim is to put the youth first, because our country depends on our youth, the foundation that we place for youth. Because in the next 40 years, I might not be there, but I would like to know that have impacted my youth who are 16 and 18 and 20, that when I leave, they themselves will be able to impact their youth so that there will always be a strong foundation.
As one of our online viewers asked that you consider including a health section as well, because a healthy nation is a wealthy nation.
And I agree with that person as well. Yes, we're going to add this part in our, as I said, it was, we had to compile it this year because it was just the starting off. But yes, we have these things lined up for next year. It will be bigger and better. And because we're looking like a whole weekend seminar next year, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, a whole weekend seminar to put a whole put everything together: health, spirituality, wealth building, put everything together that we feel that the human being would need to be better in that life. So we'll put everything together for next year. But so tell it, viewer, if you're hearing me still or you have left and you listen in later form, we will take that into consideration definitely, and we will have that present. We have indigenous Bushman who's always giving us that advice on Facebook about which bush is better to take from the other. I listen to him all the time. So we bring these people on board because they are local, and we want them to be able to give their knowledge to the young people as well. Because sometimes some things that we're going through, one simple bush tea can do that for us, you know. So yes, we'll be bringing them on board and teaching people also. We'll also be bringing the thought of agriculture. Will be really, really, really pushing agriculture next year, getting the people to go back to the soil, because we import too much things that we could do for ourselves. We import
Very
too
true.
much. So we're going to be
Very true.
focusing on agriculture. Young people, agriculture money is the same like the banker's money. There is no call or no stamp. It does not say where the money come from. Let's go back to the ground and let's do what we have to do. Let's eat what we grow. We say it, but we don't do it. There's no evidence of what we're speaking about. So we'll be pushing for that too as well next year.
And with that in mind, one final question for those who have given up in Dominica and on Dominica, what would you say to them?
For those who are thinking of giving up or have already given up, or please don't give up on Dominica. Don't give up, because Dominica is ours. And if you have a child, it's the same thing. We won't give up on our child just because they take a different path. We will try our best to bring them back online. So I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you, please join us as we try to bring our youth back online, and as we try to bring our country back in alignment to what our foreparents fought so hard to give us, which is our independence. We cannot let our independence be taken away from us just because don't want to work for ourselves, or just because we feel that it's better to receive than to do anything. Let's take back our independence. Our parents fought so hard. They'll be in our grave rolling, being vexed, because so many of them had to give up so many things to make it possible to live for us. So don't give up on us just yet. Stick with us, and help us, push us forward as we align our Dominica back to what it have to be.
That's true. Would you mind if in closing we allow the spiritual brother among us to say a short prayer as we close?
I think that we should have done that in the beginning as well, which was very important. So obviously, I won't object to that. I believe that is a very great part of us that keep our parents grounded. You could not wake up in your bed without to pray. Your mother say you have to go and pray, even if they
You pray
didn't.
already? You pray
Yes,
already?
parents,
You
as
in
you
the
wake
fridge
up, the
already? You pray
parents will
already?
come in, go to pray. So prayer is very important. So yes, of course, let's have our spiritual brother do that for us.
That is why, to me, legacy is of great importance. We need to keep the legacy alive. And if the legacy is fading, we need to bring back the good old days, because our children need a future, and
That's right.
their children also need a future. So we
Yes.
have to safeguard the legacy by doing what needs to be done now. So let us bow for a word of prayer. And even before I do that, I would like to, the question that was asked earlier on regarding the health issue. I wanted to discuss that, but time is insufficient. Time is insufficient because there are a lot of young people going through a lot these days. Mental issues. They're going through a lot in their lives and they need help. And if there are individuals who can provide that assistance, we need to do so. Let us go to God in prayer. Dear God, we thank you for today. We thank you for the discussion that we have had. And Father, we pray that the words shared and discussed would have reached the ears of many. And Father, we pray that they too will come on board and educate and empower themselves so that their future will indeed be bright. We thank you for Mrs. George. We thank you for Mr. Charles. And we just thank you for this idea. And we ask that you will bring it to fruition, dear Father. We know that it is not within their power, but you are the one who is in full and total control. So we ask, dear Father, that you will see this event through, and we pray that many youth will attend and be blessed. Thank you once again. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
All right. Thank you, Brother Dexter and Mrs. George, Petra Carbon George. The Youth Development Seminar TUD endorses this event. As a matter of fact, we will share this event on our various social media platforms and share it not just on Facebook, but on our YouTube channel as well. I hope you don't mind. Um, we look forward to the activity and just want to reemphasize everyone within the sound of our social media space. You go back and you play the program. Don't skip it. Play everything and listen to all the activities that she has in store for our young people. Not just young people, but for other persons who are young at heart as well. Because the information is very valuable to everybody. It's not just one set. But our young people need it to help them move from one stage to another. So Ms. Carbon, thank you very much for putting this program together, and I can understand why Dr. Wallace is part of your program, because for people from neighboring communities, it's only natural that she would then be encouraged to jump on this initiative and her love for young people as well.
That's
So
right.
so thank you for doing that. And on behalf of our team, I just want to say thank you for joining us on this program and giving us the opportunity to shed light on plans for young people. Your ideas and programs are similar to what we're thinking, and hoping that we'll talk further on that. We're able to facilitate in whatever way, shape, or form to your activity. So Dexter, if I'm not saying everything, I'll let the program end here, and we will talk further. So on behalf of everybody, guys, thank you for listening to another Team Unity program, and do join us another at the next appointed time.